If you love music, then do more than just listen. Connor's Music.
Connor's Music. How's everyone doing? Welcome to John Connors Live. We are live. If you are watching at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Eastern Standard Time, I guess we are now. I always just go Eastern Time to keep it simple. And we're leading into Grey Cup weekend, which is why I'm sporting my Argonauts t-shirt, because they are going to the Grey Cup. And we got a great show lined up for you tonight, I think, as we always do. And Dan says, hey, Dan, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. And happy holidays. Yeah, like Grey Cup holidays this weekend. And of course, we're leading into our semi-annual Restring special week, which is like a holiday from paying full price for guitar service, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. And of course, Argos. Very cool. I did get to a couple games this year. It was a lot of fun. Not the Eastern final because my kids all had hockey, which was totally fine. It's so much fun being at the rink with them. But it's also very exciting to see our Toronto sports team do so well. And for those of you not local, if you're watching from far away, Connor's Music's about an hour north of Toronto. So the Connors family grew up Maple Leaf fans, Blue Jay fans, Toronto Argonaut fans, and casually watching the Raptors on the side a little bit. We just didn't get into basketball as much because you get your fingers injured easily playing basketball. With hockey, you put a glove on it. You know, I guess football, it could get injured. But anyways, so on to the topic of the day. The title is to restring or not to restring. Let me try that again. The title is to restring or not to restring. That is the question. And so I went about answering this question with a before and after experience. Because really, that's what it comes down to. And most times, I'm going to say like 99, if I'm talking about 100 customers, 99 of them, after getting fresh strings on their guitar and getting the fingerboard cleaned and the body polished, and sometimes some setup work done, they come back and say, oh man, I fell back in love with my guitar. A guitar that maybe they're going, I don't know if I love the way it sounds anymore, or it doesn't feel great to play anymore. Right. It's often just this maintenance thing that we do here all the time, all year long. You can get your guitar restrung at Connor's Music. But in this holiday week, I love this. Happy holidays. I'm going to throw this up here while I'm talking about that like that. In this leading up to Grey Cup, leading up to Restring special week, we do this great deal where it's $29.95. It includes the restringing, and includes the polish and hydrate. It includes the strings and includes setup work. How can you get any better than that? So, but let's first diagnose, is it that important to get your guitar restring? Is it going to make a big difference? So to do that diagnosis, I this morning came in and we took a customer's guitar. We had permission from the customer to do this. And they actually brought it in because of a complaint with the guitar. They purchased it here. You might even recognize the guitar because it was featured on John Connors Live a little while ago. And they noticed it was buzzing and making some unfavorable noises. And just in general, they said, oh, it was sounding great. Now it's not. And so when we looked at it, we deduced it didn't really need anything special, but the strings, and this is a happy problem. It was well used and needed to be restrung. So here, I'm going to show you a video clip from early this morning, in my opinion. And then we'll go from there. So here we go on John Connors Live. Check this out. Hi, this is the sort of pre-show for John Connors Live. So I'm going to be playing this video while we're live to show you the before experience with the guitar before it got its fresh set of strings. So welcome. This is early in the morning. No, it's not that early. Early for musicians in the morning on the day of John Connors Live. And I'm here with a customer's guitar. And specifically, this one came in with a complaint about buzzing. I'm I'm not even playing that hard. Sometimes we'll get customers say, "Oh, it's buzzing," and they're cranking on the guitar. This customer is a finesse player, so he knows what he's doing, and it's getting just any sort of pressure at all, and you get this buzzing sound in the 5th and 7th frets. So, of course, our initial thought was it might need some fret work or something in the setup work because the action was pretty good, and it's a fairly new guitar. But it does appear that the primary issue with this guitar is just a good reason. A good problem is that they've played it well enough that it needs to be restrung. And some of the signs of that, other than the problem that we're hearing this buzzing, is that we can visibly see, and it may not show on screen that well, but some corrosion here on the strings, discoloration. So you see it's nice and silvery there, and it gets a little dark there. That's one example. On these wound strings, there's little, corrosion spots, especially at the fret lines. And then, of course, we're hearing this issue here. And I wanted to play. I got permission from the customer to play the guitar on the live stream, both in this before we restrung it, and then after tonight with the fresh set of strings on. And I want to play Bob Cajun. And I don't want that chink chink sound. I'm also hoping, although that sounds not bad, to get a little more brightness out of the strings. I've noticed that, in my opinion, the strings are a little dull now. So these are the things we look for. And so you should, after the live stream tonight, go and check your guitar and see if it's in a condition like this where we're seeing some corrosion and you're getting some spots. Or if you have a friend who has this issue, they pull it out at a party and it just sounds all buzzy and the strings are all corroded and gross, tag them right now in the comments. Go at your friend and say, come on, friends don't let friends go to parties with corroded strings. All right, enjoy the rest of John Connors Live. All right, so we're back live again. Let me get that comment off screen. So we're really live. I'm like a little different positioning, but fairly kind of obviously same shirt, but I don't have morning voice anymore. Anyways, there we go. And I did notice I was hanging the gig bag that the customer has for this behind me. I'm going to move out of the way so you can see it with the embroidered Connors Music logo on it there. So, so here I am now with the guitar restrung by our top restringer here at Connors Music, my brother David, and here you can hear for yourself. That now it's not buzzing. He was going to tweak the neck a little, but he really and I love, look at the tone too, a little brighter, a little warmer, and it feels so much better. That's probably the biggest difference is under my fingers now. It just feels nice. So I'm going to get to some comments here, and then we're going to try a full song and see if we like the brand new strings. I'll tell you what strings we put on there, and we got a few other little things to chat about when it comes to the Connors Music Restring special that we do twice a year. So Jess says, hey, John, hope you're having an awesome Wednesday night. I sent a Christmas card to the store. Thanks so much for that, Jess. And I'm having a great night here at the store. It was busy. New students starting, which is always exciting. Great conversations with customers. So, yes, it's been a great night here. And Diggs B. James says, yes, and I made it this time, LOL. So that's great. And this next comment here from Luke, or Laj, sorry. Argos, just the right number of O's and S's there. So there we go, leading up to the Grey Cup. I think big things from our two backs. I expect Andrew Harris and AJ Ouellette to really bring it in the Grey Cup. And the defense, Peters, I think they're going to have a big game. All right, so I'm going to, let's do a tune. That was me. left your house this morning about 9:15. Could have been the Willie Nelson, could have been the wine. When I left your house this morning, it was a little after 9. It was in Bob Kitchen where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. Drove back to town this morning with a working on my mind. I thought of maybe quitting, thought of leaving it behind. Went back to bed this morning, and as I'm pulling down the blind, yeah, the sky was dull and hypothetical and falling one cloud at a time. At night in Toronto, Argonauts with those checkerboard floors, riding on horseback and keeping order restored, till the man they couldn't hang stepped to the mic and sang, and their voices rang with that Aryan twang. Got to your house this morning just a little after 9. In the middle of that riot, I couldn't get you off my mind. So I'm at your house this morning, it's just a little after 9. It was in Bob Kitchen where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. There we go. A little Bob Cajun goes a long way. What did I thought? I thought I got to your house this morning just a little after 9. I was like, yeah, that's when I shot that before video. It was just a little after 9 this morning. Okay, so I got some comments to go back here too. So Phil says, I love the sound of new strings. Almost as good as a new guitar. Well, no. But yes, it almost makes an old guitar sound like a new guitar again. And I would definitely say that. Like, I'm sure the customer, when they get this one back, they're going to be like, this is what it was like when I bought it. And he was super excited about the tone of the guitar, the feel of the guitar. Now, he's also, I think, going to be extra excited because we upgraded him as a thank you. You can't. Oh, there we go. It just popped in. We upgraded him with the D'Addario XS strings. He wanted custom lights. We got 11 to 52s. Beautiful under the fingers. Nice smooth feel. We've talked about these strings a little bit off and on the live stream because I'm using them now on my Larrivee. I use the 12 to 53, but I love the feel of these two. Totally great. So I'm going to say, yeah, it is sort of like getting a new guitar for a lot less money. But, you know, getting a new guitar also is, you might get a different sound than your other guitar. So, you know, another great reason to pop by and just grab a new guitar too. All right. And Phil says, thank you for the applause and one of your favorite hip tunes. So there we go. I wanted to go with Canadiana themed songs leading up to Grey Cup and to help promote all things Canadian. I thought this was kind of cool too. This strap, this again, the customer strap here, but it's when they got here, it's a Levy's for New Brunswick strap. They did all the different provinces. We have a few left, but those are mostly sold, and I think they've discontinued them. We got, I think, one Ontario showed up. I don't know if it's still here. There's a Quebec, one for each province. So it's kind of cool. Okay. And then, Dan says, love the song. That was great, John. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Again, the comments and applause. Most of the viewers here are music lovers or musicians. So I always really appreciate the comments. They mean a lot. Thank you, guys. And it's a great sound. Thank you. Yeah, the guitar sounded great. Oh, I didn't tell you how I'm miking it up. I've plugged this guitar. Here you go, get a nicer view of it. I've plugged it in before to show off the pickup, but in this case, I'm using just off screen here an Aston Stealth on condenser mode. That way you could hear the guitar really actively. You will notice you get slightly different sounds depending on where I am against the mic. I kind of liked it there where it was sort of picking up around the 12th fret. Anyways, let's just chit chat about it. Digsby says, I nailed it. Thanks so much, man. And Tanya says, great job. Sounded great. Thank you very much. And Laj, with his request, says, play the Sheepdogs. I should definitely do a Sheepdog song, but I don't have one prepared tonight. And it's not, I don't know Sheepdogs well enough to just pull it out of the hat, but stay tuned for future weeks. Okay. So how do I want to do this? I'm going to do one more song, and then we're going to chat about other things that go on when we restring your guitar here at Connor's Music. So the quick tune I want to play for you is this came up this week because I had a customer who is telling me, a student of mine, who was telling me that back in the day, he helped out. Yes, hold on. I got to address this. Yes, this is a beautiful fretboard on this guitar. That inlay is gorgeous. And I've never seen him live, Steve, but I have seen some videos with Billy Strings. Crazy good player. So 100%. Okay, so customer said back in the day, they used to do these fundraiser shows, and a couple of the artists they had, Stompin' Tom Connors, he mentioned the Downchild Blues Band, and then the third artist he mentioned, he said it was a small event he was at, was Ronnie Hawkins. And growing up at Connor's Music, because some of you know, my dad started Connor's Music in 1978. So myself and my brothers and my sister and I, we grew up around the music store. And we would hear guys come in and chit chat with my dad, about their careers, all sorts of things. And for whatever reason, it just seemed that Ronnie Hawkins was the name that would come up all the time in the store. And it was usually something like, yeah, back in the day, I opened up for Ronnie Hawkins, or I know a guy who played with Ronnie Hawkins. And it was just everyone, Ronnie Hawkins, all the time. And of course, he had the band and then the Hawks and this whole thing. So, great sort of network of musicians. But when he brought it up, I said, we should do a song by Ronnie Hawkins, but I couldn't think of like a song. So I did a little digging and found a cover he did of Chuck Berry's Let It Rock. And I had a lot of fun with that. So I'm going to do a quick Let It Rock here, and then we'll talk about fretboards a little bit. So here we go. Let It Rock, as performed by Ronnie Hawkins, which gives us our Canadiana, but originally by Chuck Berry in 1959.
In the heat of the day, down in Mobile, Alabama, working on the river with a steel driving hammer. I got some money and bought some brand new shoes, trying to find somebody to take away these blues. She don't love me here, I'm singing in the sun. Pain is coming when my work is undone.
Better go easy. I'm going to tear up these strings.
Later in the evening when the sun is low, standing in and waiting for the whistle to blow, sitting empty around right on the track, rolling them on till the foreman sometimes it falls out. Everybody screaming and jumping around, picking up the money, tell the TV down, forming in a pack, gonna go insane, try to get the workers out and rough the train. Engineers blowing out the whistle loud and long, we can't stop the train, we gotta let it roll on.
Here we go. So Let It Rock. I really didn't know the song before this week, so it was a fun one to play. And you got to go listen to it because some great musicians on it, great piano work, and all sorts of great stuff. So check that out. Steve says he was just curious. It's awesome. You know, it's there's so many great musicians out there. I'm always discovering new things, people bringing stuff to my attention, and having conversations with students about Ronnie Hawkins. So Dan saw Ronnie Hawkins 40 years ago. Where did you see Ronnie Hawkins play 40 years ago, Dan? I didn't think you were old enough to see somebody 40 years ago, Dan. Were you 10 years old? And Phil gives some applause. Thank you very much. And thank you there, Steve. Fun tune. Okay, so somebody commented on the fingerboard here. And the fingerboard, you know, right under the strings, your fingers are going to put all sorts of stuff on them. It just happens. And when the guitars come in, 99% of them need in Acton, Ontario. Acton. I'm trying to think of the venues there that you would have seen Ronnie Hawkins, and that's amazing. This gentleman, the student of mine, he said they did the things in Toronto, these fundraiser shows, and the one that sold it the best though was Stompin' Tom Connors. He said they packed the place. So, and kind of again to come full circle on the show, the reference to the Horseshoe in Toronto in Bob Cage, and of course Stompin' Tom played there regularly. What do they call it? A residence at Horseshoe, and now there's a nice little mural for both the Hip and for Stompin' Tom there. Oh, the Acton Fairgrounds. There you go. That would have been fun. Probably with a big band. Would have been exciting. So there you go. Okay, so the guitars come in. We don't just slap a few strings on these things and say, here you go. We take the strings off. We clean the guitar. We polish it with the appropriate polish. We deep clean your fingerboard, and then we hydrate it. So to show you a little bit about that, I've got a video queued up here on how to clean. Now, you don't have to worry about doing it. We're going to do it, but you can see what we do. How to clean and hydrate your fingerboard.
Here's how to clean and hydrate a fingerboard. I'm going to spray on Dunlop's Fingerboard Cleaner and Prep. I'm now going to use a cloth to scrub the fingerboard clean. With the fingerboard clean, we can now apply Music Nomad's F1 oil. Spread it around evenly and allow it to soak in. Now you can wipe off the excess oil and your fingerboard is clean and hydrated.
If you love music, then do more than just listen. Connor's Music.
Here's how.
I was going to hit hide and then it.
If you love music, then do more than just listen. Connor's Music.
All right, there we go. So that was fun and informative, I think. And that's what we do. And that hydration, like if you don't, you'll notice like little porousness in your fingerboard, little cracks in it. Hey, there's a big compliment here. Great jingle. Ha. I can't take full credit for it, but I will say that we were sitting there going, we need a little music idea. And then I sort of developed the harmonies. But the line, the lyric, if you love music, do more than just listen, has been a long-standing line here at Connors Music, of course, developed by Paul Connors. So that's why I can't take full credit. He gets songwriting credit because the lyric, right? Yeah. If you love music, we should do like a cover contest. I'm just spitballing here. A cover contest of the Connors Music jingle. Just a thought. Okay, so now I'm going to play one more tune for you to close out the night. I think we've proven that 99% of us are going to want new strings on our guitars. And the best time to do it is next week at Connors Music. You can drop them off anytime now. We'll log them in and get them done within that 1 week turnaround, which is also extra special because sometimes our shop gets busy and things take longer. But for our Restring special, we're going to turn it around in a week for you. So, extra incentive. And the last thing I was going to say was thank you for tuning in. And we stayed with the Canadiana theme. Come in this week. There we go. There's a great jingle. Okay. All right. So here we go. The last song I picked is another 90s tune. Actually, Bob Cajun was maybe late night, early 2000. I don't know. Anyways, from the 90s, band called The Watchmen, Canadian band. This album came out in 1998. The album was called Silent Radar. I fell in love with the whole thing, and I got to see these guys at Edge Fest. So a great little Canadian wrap up. And I chose it also because it has some riffs in it. I want you to hear that on this guitar after we got it all nicely restrung. I'm gonna double check the tuning first. Fresh strings, I will say, do need to stretch out just a wee bit. Now I remembered what I was gonna say. It just takes a second sometimes. Anyways, so I had one student of mine who brought their guitar in. It hadn't had new strings in years, but it had sort of settled into this spot. The strings happened to be really durable. They stayed in kind of tune, not too bad. But they were corroded, right? So I said, hey, why don't you do this special? And he said, oh, okay. He left it with us and I gave it back to him and he played it and he was like, oh, why does it sound like that now? And it was all that bright, sparkly tone that most of us go, oh, yeah. But he had kind of fallen in love with the tone of his guitar with the old, mellow, rusted strings. So there's your 1%. And I'm going to say it might be less than 1% because of the number of people that just love the feel and sound of fresh strings. But I got to be authentic with you that there was, 1 in 1,000 that do kind of dig that mellow tone. So there are strings out there that can help you achieve mellower tone. You don't have to go with the brightest thing out there. So, all right, we're going to do one more and call it a night. Thanks again for tuning in to John Connors Live. We've been going first and third Wednesdays of the month. So we're going to have 2 weeks off this time, but we'll be back on December 7th going live here from Connors Music. Here we go. Touching down, it's a frozen town. Look around, I grew up, I fell down. Nothing changes except the red light. Lost my spot there. No
Nobody changes, wanted see them tonight. Everybody gather round. Everybody drag it down. Here we go. I'm feeling like the one-legged man, always made to take a stand. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Oh. I walk in and just laugh it off. And all the heads turn, familiar faces help me shake the cold off. Everybody gather round. Everybody drink it down. I'm feeling like a one-legged man. I was made to take a stand. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Sounds like bullshit. You ever notice this old town of ice and snow gets you running to chasing something? What it is, I'll never know. Just hope one day that it shows. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Oh, any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Any day now it will come. Oh.
Here we go. Okay, so not too bad. A couple of spots in there. I kind of forgot about the bridge. Has that ever happened to you before? You start playing a song, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this one. Then you hit the bridge. You go, oh, I forget the bridge. Anyways. And Phil says, Mama got me new headphones to listen with. Makes you appreciate the sound other than your phone speaker. Yes, for sure. And great song. Check out, if you haven't heard the original, go check out The Watchmen. Great singer. Oh my gosh. Great band. I love the whole album. It's a listen from front to back album. Silent Radar, the title track, and there's another one. I can't remember all the tune, Stereo, which was a big hit. My life is a stereo. Anyways, okay. So check it out. And definitely, like, phone speakers are like teensy weensy, not really designed for music. Get some cool headphones, or get somebody to get you cool headphones like Phil did. just upgraded to a pair of Klipsch speakers, and Phil, you are right. It sounds amazing. Right. Yeah. Cause you guys are both on Facebook. You could see your comments there. So that's true for sure. We of course sell studio monitors. There's this whole vinyl thing that's been going on. So we got turntables with built-in preamps, but yeah, having nice speakers or nice headphones makes all the difference. I'm using Audio Technica headphones. I've now got Shure in-ears with the band, and what a difference it makes. So, and I'm glad you found the show informative, Steve. Thank you. And I hope you tell your friends if they've got a guitar that's in need, bring it into Connors. This is the week. Don't delay, because you get this crazy deal. So, we don't really do, I'm not even going to say it. There's this big American sales event going on. We never really did it because before it was even sort of coming across the border, we had a big sale event we do in October. And, if there's inventory, sometimes there'll be a Boxing Week special at Connors Music. But this is our end of November special, is the restringing event. And it's really, we try to time them at the big seasonal changes, because that's when, the change in hydration in the air really does affect our guitars. They often need setup work going into the fall and in the spring. So we do a restringing event in the last week of November and one in the last week of April. So that's twice a year. Some customers just use that as their guitar maintenance plan. It's sort of like you get your car, you have your oil change sticker in the corner, and it says, make sure, when you hit this time or this many kilometers, you bring it in and get it serviced. Well, you could use that as a barometer if you wanted. Just said end of November, end of April, I'm going to get it in, new strings, polished and cleaned up and done at Connors Music. Or if it's something you want to get into and do yourself, of course, come and get the maintenance products and do it yourself. So there we go. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate the comments. That's what makes John Connors Live a live and interactive experience. If I sat here and nobody was commenting, I don't know what I would do. I'd just be like, okay, ho hum. What do you want to do? So I'm glad we get this type of experience. So thanks again. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, or hopefully when you pop by the store. And you're welcome, Digsby. And thank you guys. So we'll see you again. That's it for John Connors Live. Have a good night, guys. Stay well.